Okay, so today quickly we'll be talking about actually, of course, discourse we'll be talking about, but I didn't want to make it a very academic kind of, because of course we are reading lots of research articles and we can find lots of information, but I will just make a kind of proposal, as my professor said. So from the very beginning, let me say, let's unite, let's do something about turning our, or purifying our language. We see lots of examples of this in the world. I mean, some words may create wars, some words may create heaven on earth, right? So I'm very much interested in this topic, interpersonal communication, and how to use the language. We don't have to speak the same language, but we can just have a common kind of language. Even in the same culture, we're not sharing some common...
the problem we are facing in Istanbul. We can't find anybody to talk English, even in the hotel.
In Istanbul?
Yes.
I'm surprised, really? Huh. In Taksim?
Taksim, yes.
Taksim, okay. All right, because, I mean, okay. But as long as people wish to communicate, if there is a will, there's always a way. So you can just, I mean, in our culture, we never say, I don't know, for example. If you ask for an address, even if I don't know, I will just say, go straight and then do something. Be careful, because we don't have this I don't know or no kind of cultural thing, so we want to help. But helping and sending somebody to the opposite direction, I'm not sure if this is a good help, or just 5 minutes walk and it's 30 kilometers away. So be careful, but I'm sure you can find. And in Taksim, I feel like a stranger, because everybody speaks, almost everybody in the shops, for example, they welcome us in English or in Arabic, and I say merhaba, and they say, oh, you're a tourist. So feel at home, please, and I hope you will just come back again. So why did I call this, the title of this presentation, Toxic? From toxic to empowering language use in education. Yes, I've been dealing with language issues. I started my career as English language teacher at Middle East Technical University after graduating from Hacettepe University, English language and literature. And in literature, you know, this is all about words and what words mean and how you use. Maybe you use in a satirical way some words. Very recently, we read the text by Jonathan Swift, Modest Proposal. Have you read Modest Proposal by Jonathan Swift, 18th century? So the whole text is satirical. He's saying something, but meaning something else. So we have to be very careful about what people are saying. But sometimes we take people, what they say literally, and we start attacking on them. But they are sometimes making fun of or ironical way of saying things. Okay, I would give an example, but I won't. It will be maybe political. Okay, I won't. But you know, I mean, we say something, we are criticized, but at the same time, we may be meaning just the opposite. So leading in between the lines, deep structure, I mean, levels of reading, levels of hearing, very important. Okay, this is, I mean, another side of the issue. And I am the national, as my professor said, I am the national representative of IZED, International Study Association on Teachers and Teaching. If you have this in this association in your countries, if there are any national representative, you can reach them and become a member. And there are regional and international conferences every year. This year we were in Sibiu, Romania, and it was a wonderful conference. Last year we were in Kazan, Tatarstan. It was a regional conference. And we have a journal, and I mean, it's a very good association, and you can always contact me for any kind of detail for that, and we can meet at different conferences as well. So, I mean, at conferences, there are some IZED meetings as well. I mean, at different conferences, we meet. Okay, so a very short outline, and okay. You experience this or no? Sometimes we are misunderstood, but we blame others. He didn't get me right, kind of misunderstandings. Every day we go through. All right, anybody who says I never go through such experiences? Okay, okay, as long as we communicate, we live this. So, and my question is this: what if we were the prime source of these problems? Let's think if really we change our perspective and say, what if I am the primary source? Of course we are not. Of course we are not, because we will talk about the fact that communication is a two-way traffic. It's not one-way traffic, it's two-way traffic. So I say something, okay, we'll talk about that. So yes, very, very difficult kind of art, let me say. It's an art to, if we understand other people, it's a miracle. Why? Because whatever we hear or whatever we are exposed to as behaviors, we take these and the words, the language, the sentences, the behaviors go through our filters. Because nobody can think in the same way. If you aren't in my shoes, you can never think in the way that I think. Never. Impossible. You haven't been exposed to my experiences. So how come we say, oh, I didn't know you were such a person. Of course you were. Okay. It was my perception. And my perception changed. If you ask who Feyza is to my mom, you will have different views. You will listen to a different kind of person. And if you ask to somebody else, or if you ask a student who failed last year, you will totally get a different idea about me. So everything changes. We distort, we delete, or we sometimes generalize whatever we hear. Or one experience just means, or we generalize that one experience. I know people from Ghana are wonderful. Did you know that? People from Ghana are wonderful people. What's your name? Patrick. Because I know Patrick. He is the only person I know from Ghana, but I loved him. He's so nice, and we tend to generalize, all right? Or, of course, in the negative way as well. We tend to generalize. And you ask, how many, what do we call Ghanaian? Ghanaians. Ghanaians, okay. How many Ghanaians do you know? Oh, I met somebody from Ghana, Patrick. Who else? But he was very nice. Okay, we tend to generalize in the negative way as well, yes. Or we delete. So yes, me and the other, we are exposed to the external behavior, external, okay, language, words, perceptions, everything. And then it goes through to my filters, and then I come back with a response, with a reaction. But this reaction is usually a reaction which is right in me. But for the other person, it's not a good reaction, maybe. Okay, it's just, okay, so then I usually ask this question. Understanding others or being understood? Which one is easier? If you were to give a grade out of 10 to understanding others, I understand other people, out of 10, what would you give? Think about a number, okay? Keep this number, okay? People understand me. People understand me. I understand other people. So, who says the second one is a smaller number?
I think the first one is higher.
Okay, let's see, hocam, Halil hocam. Halil hocam, let's see, have a look around. Have a look around. So, the majority says, wherever I did this mini exercise all over the world, not only in Turkey, with students, with teachers, everybody says about 6, 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10, I understand other people, but people don't understand me. So it means majority of the people in the world understand other people, but majority thinks we are not understood. So who understands who? Hocam, who understands who? Okay? There's a conflict. I mean, it's all in the perception. It's all in the perception. I may think that I understand other people, and I think that I am always, most of the time, not always, but most of the time, misunderstood. Not again, misunderstood. Okay, so what is the reason for that? Of course, we don't speak the same language, even if we are speaking the same language. So you find yourself using these sometimes. I didn't mean that. You got me wrong. That's not what I meant. Or sometimes you say something, and if you take your notes, for example, after this conference, you will be using some words that I never used. Sometimes they come and they say, Hocam, you said this in the conference. These are not my words. I never use such words. But that's through the filters, and we go through all these changes in our filters, and we perceive things in the way that we want to perceive. Okay, so are we aware of the toxic? Why did I call it toxic? I just wanted to draw the attention, because I have been giving lots of seminars and speeches on language use and how, or body language use, how these are important. But now I decided to use toxic. Toxic. For me, some language patterns, some behaviors are toxic. And our lives are toxicated. If we are exposed to some sentences, some words, some behaviors, especially from the people who are authority for us, right? Our parents, starting from the age of 1, or maybe even before, we hear certain words and language patterns, and then we come to believe them. We believe in them. And then teachers, and then some authority. And then, of course, our thoughts are toxicated. What do I mean by toxicated? Our thoughts, our behaviors, our lives are toxicated. Why? Why? Because I believe in that person, I believe in that adjective, I believe in that label that my teacher said to me. She was calling me an adjective, and of course, we don't question these. We don't question. We just take them and we believe in them. We don't question. So then our lives are toxicated, and we start living in workplaces which are toxic environments. If we're talking about mobbing, I recently finished a thesis project with my student, and we worked on mobbing. And in that research, we saw that, again, the language of some administrators or teachers, colleagues, are toxic. And I mean, by the things that they say or sometimes don't say, lives are changed. So, for example, yes, I've been doing research, and it's an ongoing project, but I have lots of quotations like this. One of the quotations, with my friend's permission, I'm using this. Once our teacher wanted us to write a composition. I was not feeling okay that day, a little bit unsocial as a secondary school kid, you know. I wrote a few paragraphs thinking about our summer holidays with my family. I remember feeling great as I was in my dream holiday place, and I also added some fictitious elements. I enjoyed the dream world I created. I loved writing as it helped me relax. Next day, I handed in my composition. Guess what happened? Guess what happened? A few days later, my Turkish language teacher gave back the papers, and he asked me in front of the whole class, "Where did you copy this text from? Tell me the truth." I said, "I wrote it," which was true. He said he wanted to talk to my parents. So for him, I was not only a thief, but also a liar. And from then onwards, he says, I never wrote anything. And he feels like writing things, and he can express his feelings very well in written. I can say, I can see, but he says, no, I cannot write anything. And just a few weeks ago, I would be giving a training on, again, interpersonal relations to the academics at my university. And before interpersonal relations and classroom management issues, to deliver that speech, I asked my students at the university, lots of students. I said, what are your messages to your professors at the university? Write, please. No names, write. And starting with, for example, why don't they enjoy what they're doing? Why don't they smile? Please tell them to smile and greet us in the morning, kind of things, and the extreme end. And one student said this, and I said, okay, with your permission, I want to read. Of course, it was in Turkish. I just translated a little bit of it. But I said, with your permission, I will read the whole paragraph to the university academicians. He was saying something like this. Please tell them that we just want one thing from them. Tell them that, okay, please do not make us hate schools or university. And the rest we can do, we can handle. But, I mean, just make this a better environment for us. So, of course, the experiences change. Some students also talked about positive things. But yes, that's why I call this toxicated lives. So my claim for this keynote speech is this. The title of this conference is Advances in Education and Social Sciences. And for any kind of advance, yes, I know we're at the digital age, 21st century, and new generation students. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. But still, this is, if this is not okay, then we're not okay. Still, we care about, human relations, interpersonal relations, effective communication, and how to use the language, how to use the body language. Even we don't have to utter words. We may just do a kind of facial expression after an answer from a student. Okay, anybody else to answer? Kind of expression may ruin that student's whole life. So it's not easy. We are a very, we know, we are aware. That's why I can share this with you. So, and my proposal will be, let's do something together. Let's collaborate. Let's try to purify our language, make it empowering, make it peaceful. But we need awareness. We need to have awareness. And some keywords, of course, I have. Attitude is everything. Perspectives, perception, empathy, understanding versus judging. These are all keywords, but awareness, awareness, awareness. So, yes, how can we be more aware? Let's think together. What can we do to be more aware of the effect and the power of words or body language or words that we use in our daily life situations, in our families while raising children, or in educational contexts, at school, at university, at trainings with colleagues, sharings with colleagues, and how to use antidotes, right? What are the antidotes for that? Let's think. Let's think. Of course, I have been observing and I have been suggesting some antidotes, but of course, we will be finding our own antidotes for some words. And we are even not aware of some words that we use which may give negative connotations. If I come here and say, for example, today I will try to share with you an issue related to, okay? So try to, what does that mean? So I'm saying this with good intentions, but the message I'm giving is, I'll try to, but I may not succeed. I'll try, okay? So a word that I use with good intentions may mean something else in your unconscious mind. Oh, try to? Or I have seen lots of speakers using these words. Okay, I'll try not to bore you today. I'll try to keep it short, not to make you stressful, bored, etc., etc. So why am I using these words? What do I give? What kind of message do I give? You'll be bored. You'll be bored. And I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm not an expert. I'm here, I don't know why I'm here, but I'm talking, but I'll try to. So, I may not be behaving like that, but unconsciously you will think so. So, what kind of messages do we give, and what kind of associations do we create in the audience? So, we have to be, when I observe practice teaching or some teachers in in-service trainings, when I observe these, I take notes. With good intentions, you're saying this, but you don't know the effect of that. Or continuously looking at the watch, reminding the students of time, all right? Although they are concentrated and they just are motivated listening, if you keep on checking the time, then you'll be giving the message that, okay, is that the time for the break kind of message? Okay, so we need to be very aware of these, the power of words. And we know that language is the source of misunderstandings, and words and what they represent sometimes don't match. I have a very popular exercise that I do with almost all my students in my teacher seminars or at any kind of place in the seminars. I give these words and I ask the audience to write the associations, whatever comes to your mind. You write, and then I put the participants in groups of 2 or 3. They come together and they just try to find the common words that they have written for holiday, for example. Holiday. Let's go on a holiday. Okay, why not? Great. My God, we'll go on trekking and we'll walk and see new places. Oh, no, I want to rest at a 5-star holiday resort. I want to rest. No way. We'll go on a holiday. Yes, we'll go on a holiday. Holiday concept. We're all using the concepts in a different way. We're talking about success, but what do we mean by success? All right, we have a definition, a different definition of success. And how about, but the interesting part of this is when I ask the word exam, almost all the words associated are negative. Stress, there are some common. Then I can find some common words for exam, homework, stressful. So who creates this? We create this. Stress, what comes to your mind when I say exam? Examinations, exam, testing. No sleep, torture. Stress, of course, almost everybody thinks stress, but what is the real meaning of examinations, testing? What is it? But it changed its meaning totally because we did that as teachers, as educators. We gave that a very different meaning. Or homework, even at seminars, at the weekends, people come, they want to listen to my seminar. I say, for next week, your homework is, I see reactions. Hocam, please don't call this homework. I say, this is observation. Homework meaning observation about your lives, about being aware, getting awareness. But let's not call it homework because we're irritated when we hear homework. Homework, assignment, homework. So we need to be reword certain things if we don't want to create that kind of a reaction. Even at fun activities, when you call it homework, people are irritated. Okay, so yes, I use this at almost all seminars that I give. This is the part of the seen person. You cannot know who I am, right? I'm more than my words. I'm more than my behaviors. I'm more than my excitement right now. I speak in a different way sometimes, or vice versa. So, but we tend to judge people with the appearance, with one word, sometimes even one word. And for some people, when you use a word and you are not aware, but that word has negative connotations, bringing from their childhood, for example. You may never know this, but you may check. We may check. Okay, and we use these lots of labels. Some labels, and I'm asking these in my ongoing research, what kind of labels do you use as teachers? They come with some lists, but later on, when I observe them, of course, there are more labels than, or what kind of labels have we been exposed to as students? All right? Let me pass these. So if we have low expectations, high expectations from students, that will also turn into self-fulfilling prophecies, right? If I expect low from you, you will perform in that way. High, low, okay. So, and by the behaviors or the words that we use, we just show this, deliver this to our students or colleagues. So the power of inner talk, I do this kind of an exercise as well. If you think about the last mistake you made, what did you say to yourself? The last time you made a mistake, a small kind of mistake. You forgot to pay the rent, something. What did you say? You were angry at yourself. What did you say to yourself? Just think.
Never happen again.
Never happen again. Okay, you are kind to yourself. Some people are not kind. Then I tell them, if you were, write down, okay, if you were using these words and reactions to a 5-year-old kid, how would she or he feel? Oh, terrible. I cannot say these to that kid. Okay, if someone else is saying these words to you, how would you feel? Oh, I would punch him in the face, etc. Nobody can dare say things like that to me. But you are saying these to yourself. Why? You shouldn't. But then, when I ask them to go back to their childhood, we figure out that mostly these are the words, labels, adjectives that our parents or our teachers used for us. So they become our inner voice. And we start saying things to ourselves because we bring them from our childhood. So how shall we empower our learners, our colleagues, our friends, or ourselves? Again, I use this. Very popular for me. I use this. Words are like loaded guns. We're killing people by the words that we use. At least we're hurting people. And sometimes it is irreversible. We're toxicating the lives. So we need to be aware of what kind of words we're using. We're talking about violence, stop violence against women, stop violence. We're using the language of violence. What do we want to see? Peace. But we continuously say, let's stop violence. So why don't we use peace? All right? We are creating the language of violence. So whatever we want to see, we need to deliver. So the words we choose to speak decide the life we choose to live. And in a negative way, in a positive way, our lives are also shaped in that way. So we must be aware. We must be aware words may crystallize or paralyze other people's lives, and our lives as well, our lives. So can we create more desirable outcomes by just changing the words that we use? And okay, so that they turn into self-fulfilling prophecies. So we need to widen our perspective, see what's going on around, all right? See both sides of the view. And as I said, like violence, let's not use the negative. Don't shout, don't fight. So what are we emphasizing? Shouting, fight, violence. Do not litter, we're emphasizing litter. Do not walk on the grass. Do not be a traffic monster. Like this, my typical example for this, close your eyes, don't think a red elephant. Don't think a red elephant. Close your eyes, don't think a red elephant. Close your eyes, don't think a red elephant. Red elephant. Open your eyes, don't think this. Yani hani don't think this. Close your eyes. Don't think a red elephant. Red elephant. Red. Have I created the concept of red elephant? So if I don't want to create the concept of fight, violence, litter, etc., etc., then I should be using the positives. Okay? So toxic language all around, but we can turn this into a more peaceful. I took this photograph. So we can turn any place into heaven. Okay. So the real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. Let's, if you can, let's try to be more aware of our language, and let's empower the people around, students around, our children, our spouses, siblings, family, colleagues, everybody, by using empowering, and ourselves. What do I say to myself when I'm angry, for example? Or what do I believe in related to my life? So this is my call for action. Let's cooperate and work on teacher discourse and compare what kind of different language patterns in teacher discourse we use in actual daily life interaction with our students. I'm curious to know, maybe with Leila, Amal, and I will be very much interested in doing different kinds of contexts, what kind of language patterns, empowering or weakening or stressful or toxicated. What do we use? So we can do this all together. Thank you very much. Thank you. Any questions? Any contributions? Maybe contribution. Do you think we can do it together to purify the language and create a more, as educators who are aware of the importance of this, as educators, we can create something to purify, to turn the language, daily language, political language, social language, and every kind educational discourse into a more positive one.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So all this idea might be different from a community to another.
Yes, sure.
So if you are talking about Middle East, it might be
Sure.
different from.
Sure. That's why I'm curious.
This is what I want
That's
to
why
say.
I'm curious. Even in small cultures, small C, big C, even in small cultures, in different families, in the eastern part of Turkey, things are different. In Istanbul, in different regions, things are different at schools. But what I observed in very different low socioeconomic, high socioeconomic states. I have been to all parts, all regions in Turkey. And more or less, I can just say that there is an issue related to language use on part of the teachers. Of course, we cannot control family discourse, of course, but at least we can talk about how we can change the beliefs, negative beliefs of students, like saying, I cannot do it. Me, maths? No way. I don't have that intelligence. Then we start talking about multiple intelligences, right? Yes, anybody can do it. You are born with a normal kind of intelligence. So why not? Because I believe so. I think so. So how can we change these? Before we're teaching anything, we need to work with the beliefs of the learners. At this age, learning a language? No way, some people say. What is it about your language? Anybody can. I know, I have examples of people learning a total new language at the age of 70. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, dear Professor, for your presentation, your kind presentation.
Thank you.
Perhaps I have a question.
Yes, please.
Can we say that people who use that toxic vocabulary or toxic behaviors, in a way, they exhibit or they disclose a certain toxic side in themselves? Perhaps I'm targeting a psychological aspect in a way.
Okay, from my point of view, I will not go deep into that psychological issue. Related to human beings, nothing has an equal sign, all right? We cannot say yes or no if we're talking about human beings. I am on the side on which I say we do everything with good intentions. So beneath any kind of behavior, we have good intentions. What do we mean by good intention? For me, for example, if I am a very strict instructor saying that you cannot pass, this is a very difficult course, and no way, nobody can get 100 from my class, AAs, etc. My intention could be not threatening or making students stressful, but a little bit stressful so that they will work hard. I'm trying to motivate them. But the thing I am proposing here, we are not aware that my good intention is not good for some of my students. Some students are motivated. Oh, she says it's a very difficult course. Then I need to work harder, and I will show her. She said nobody can get AAs. I will. But somebody else will, from the very beginning, say, okay, no AAs in this class. No way. Why should I work hard? Just D or C will be enough to pass. So I need to be aware. Okay? But I'm not criticizing, I'm not judging the person for saying or using these toxicated, because my correct way my right way of doing this is that, and I'm not aware, but this is my normal kind of language. So let's be aware, or if I cannot change this person, let's make students aware so that if I tell them that, okay, don't judge your instructors. They are doing what is right for them. They are trying to motivate you by saying, by scolding you in front of the class for not doing your homework, trying to make you do your homework, pass the class. So be aware that there's always a good intention underneath these behaviors. Don't judge them. But if I can reach the other party, I say, please be aware of the language use. You are losing a big part of the class, but some people will be motivated because we all live our lives with meta programs. If in my meta program I'm motivated by, extrinsic kind of motivation, then I'll be lost. So I cannot expect at smaller ages, I cannot expect intrinsic motivation. So I need to say, well done, great, that's good work. I know you can do it, okay? They need this. Even university students, even MA students, even PhD students need extrinsic motivation. So let's be aware, I say. Thank you. Yes, please. Okay, last question, Hocam said.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Actually, I'm struggling to find words to motivate teachers also.
Yes.
My research is to evaluate teachers in the teaching profession, whether they are covering the syllabus,
Okay.
the learning outcome, everything. It's basically monitoring and evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as you mention the word monitoring and evaluation, they shun off
Yes.
and they switch off.
Yeah.
So rather than taking that positively, saying, yeah, this is how we can really improve. So my problem is, even in the research, the pilot project that I'm doing at the moment, nobody's willing to take any assignment for this research.
Because it's assignment.
Yeah,
Because it's evaluation, assessment. I'm not very much motivated with these words either.
So it's really a big
Yeah, I
struggle
know.
finding the right word. So
Yeah.
how do you change those words, monitoring and evaluation, to something that the teacher will say, yes, I want to use this and to improve my teaching?
I'm sure you can now find a more creative way because you know the colleagues that you're working with, the teachers you're working with, you know how to motivate them. Sometimes I just turn these into, instead of saying, for example, rules of the classroom, just like in IB teacher education programs, we always use the positive language. We say class contracts, basic issues that we share together, kind of. So rule, for example, is negative. But let's play a game. Let's be Sherlock Holmes trying to figure out. You can create a scenario for that.
I've done it in a sneaky way now. So I've gone from the top down. So gone to the management and say, look, if you want to evaluate your teacher, this is the method you can be 100% sure it will be evaluated properly. So it's got nothing to do with the teachers. So it's gone from the top to the teachers.
Okay.
So I had problem finding the words, so I used the alternative.
Okay. I mean, you can just turn that into you can give them a different perspective. It's no longer evaluation, assessment, no longer, but now this is a game for development, a game for something we can create. Of course, I mean, if I were in that culture and observing the group of people, I think we could, or if you just think about how to turn this into a fun activity. I mean, we need to, at any age, we want to see what is good for me inside this exercise, and if I'm having good time or not, and what if I don't do it, what will happen? So we are asking for any kind of exercise.
The best motivation for this is to part of the grading system. It might be something.
Yes.
But it's not working.
Yes, that's also a motivation. If you Of course, that's a motivation. But at the same time, how...
It's a global phenomenon, to be honest.
Yeah, sure.
Even in the UK, I've been teaching in the UK, I taught in Estonia, now I'm currently teaching in Saudi Arabia now. So it's exactly the same.
Yeah, sure.
So I think the problem is with the onset of the teacher's mentality, that they don't really understand the usefulness of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, sure. The same issue for teacher development kind of seminars, issues. Again, I, for example, see that sometimes lots of teachers attend an in-service training session, and from the way they come to the room, I can see that they have been forced to be there, and they are there just to sign, and then they're looking forward to, we have things to do. Why are we here? Again, another boring session, kind of. And then I say to myself, okay, I need to change this perception. I need to do activities. I start the day with dancing. And then I ask them, okay, we did this, we danced, but why did I do this? You find the purpose, the goal of my activity. And then sometimes I figure out that there are some things they write I hadn't thought of. So I try to, we try to motivate ourselves and our teachers as much as possible, but I'm sure you're thinking that's why you, brought this question. But we need to show them that this is important for their lives, which will be important for the kids. One teacher changes, hundreds of students change. So we need to find I'm working on a book or booklet like Games Trainers Play. So we need to play games at any age. At any age. While teaching English to adults, I was teaching English by game activities. So with teachers, I use games a lot. So trainers can use games. So that things will be fun to do. Otherwise, if we're bored, there's no learning. If we're enjoying, there's learning. Of course, your situation, I can only be modest. I cannot suggest anything. In your situation, you're the expert. You're the expert. I don't know the culture. I don't know the culture and what's going on in your culture, but...
No, it's a global phenomenon.
Yeah, it's a global thing.
In the USA,
I know, sure. Global thing, so let's try to find more fun ways of doing things. If any questions, we can talk about them during the break. Yes, sure. And I forgot to write my email, but my name and surname together, gmail.com. Okay? Anyway, you can find me at this university, feyzadoyran@gmail.com, and Feyza Doyran Twitter as well. If you want to, I can always, I would love to be in contact with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.